Week 9, the pursuit is done. Biggest mileage total to date,
Oh,
39 total miles on the week. A couple workouts. Patrick, how you doing? How you feeling?
I feel fantastic, but it's also going by like super fast, man. We're gonna have to get the next pursuit logged in soon. We're on week 10. That's crazy to me.
That's actually the thing that I just told you before we started recording was similar to those lines where it's like we're kind of recording this on a weekly basis, but at a certain point, it's just like this is the life I want to live, and it's less about
Yeah,
like, oh, let me record what I've done in the last week. It's just like this is just what the daily expectation is. Like we're sitting here planning a workout in the gym and a run, and it's like at a certain point, it's that's just what I want to do. So
yeah, and it's cool to like have a weekly discipline like this. That's like a fun discipline. Like we get to hop on a call. We talk a lot, obviously, but we get to hop on a call and just go through similar, exactly the same, actually weekly struggles, and just to compare and contrast it, it's pretty cool. But I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. You keep showing me up in some of these runs, which is just pissing me off. Um, but I'm feeling good. Like body wise, we ran 16 miles. That's the furthest I've ever ran. You've done a marathon. I have not. But dude, I wasn't properly. I didn't have proper nutrients. I wasn't hydrated, and like it felt amazing. I think it was a good pace. It was like a 9:20 or 9:30 pace. I'm just excited to see where all this training's taken us.
well, it is interesting because yes, I've run a marathon, but in my last training plan, like I skipped the 60-mile run. Like I did the 14 mile, and then I did. Actually, I think I skipped the 14. I think I did a couple halves, and then I did 18. Didn't do the 20. So it's like, and then my last marathon plan, I got up to 18, but I don't think I did 16. So it's like I've only run this distance, I think, 4 times.
And you have said, I want to go off that because you have said this has been the most disciplined you've been running. Is that because it's like a partner thing? Or is
It
that
helps
like
so
an
much.
attribute?
I think it's twofold. One, it's definitely like anything's easier when you have accountability. For example, like I drove 6 hours in a car on Friday. I slept in Friday morning and I didn't wake up and run. And it's like I got here at like 7 p.m., 6 p.m. And I texted you, was like, hey, I'm not going to do the 4 mile easy run. And you're like, why? It's like not even like, okay. You're just like, why? Like, do
Yeah.
miles. And I was like, dang, you're right. And it's like, I had excuses in my mind. It's like, I didn't want it to hurt me for the 16-mile run the next day, which would have been Saturday, but I actually ended up doing the 16-mile run today on Sunday. So, like, it was irrelevant. But uh, yeah, so accountability is big. And then I really think that's the biggest thing. But like minor to that is the last time I was in a plan, like I had a lot of travel on weekends where it wasn't like travel and stay in a place. It was like I was flying somewhere Friday, flying somewhere Sunday. And so like having plans on that Saturday coupled with a long run, like it was just really difficult to do, which made me not do it, which it's kind of an excuse, but like that's just what it was.
But that's also what you just said. Like in regards to like not skipping that 4 miles, like I think we're just I think having a plan and having it be structured so precisely week in, week out, like you can't afford to miss a day because if you miss a day and you try to make up for it tomorrow, you're behind. You're either behind or you're going to mess up the next workout by rushing into things. And you travel, I'd say you and I travel more than any of our friends for work and for relationships. Like Tristan just moved into a new place for a month, Charlottesville, and I'm going to Arkansas next week. I was in Houston all last week. Like we travel a ton and like nothing has been affecting our training. And I'm super impressed with it because it's so easy to just have any excuse and traveling being one of them. Like especially physically, like right? Like traveling and just sitting in one spot can like mess you up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I have to find a new gym that I'm going to go to for the month, or it's like
Exactly.
one that has a skier, but it's like that's just something I have to do. It's not something, or it's not something I really have a choice on. It's like if I'm training for something, like I have to do it. So it's just a reality of my situation, and like that is what it is, you know. So
And we're happy
um,
about it. Like a lot of people probably think we're crazy, but like those types of struggles and figuring out, like once you figure that out and it's set and all you have to do is just go do the work, like it's, I think it's more accomplishing and it feels more rewarding because you have to like go over this one extra hurdle to make it a reality. And it's hard to do. Like it's so much easier to just say no, like you almost did.
yeah, I mean, it's like we've talked before, but it's like I've never felt or I've never regretted going on a run. It's like I've had bad runs for sure. I've had bad runs. I've had days where I didn't want to run, but it's like literally as soon as I start running, I'm like, this was the right choice. And it's like the same thing with going to the gym. Like I've had bad workouts, but it's like you just feel better when you, even if you didn't want to do it, even if you had a packed day that you're so busy, so tired, like you just go and do it. Like do something that, like just any of these workouts is just an accomplishment in itself. Where it's like if you just get it done, you just naturally feel better.
And we, like, we going off that, we've both been athletes for a while, but I want to ask you this because my answer is definitely this is the first time for what I'm about to ask you, but is this the first time that you've literally felt like everything that's planned is unnegotiable? It's non negotiable with yourself? Like lacrosse workouts, whatever it is, anything else I was training for, I would screw off a little bit and be like, whatever, like have tomorrow. Like everything in this has been non negotiable. Like it's emotionless. It's just doing the damn thing. And this is the first time I've like I have to like take a step out because it's like I haven't even realized that that's kind of what's been happening. But like for 10 weeks, we've been going literally nonstop.
Yeah, I mean it's like college football. Obviously, you couldn't just miss the workouts, and at a certain point, there was like surviving the workouts for sure. Where it's like just get through these sprints or like get through this lift, and then like you'll see the next day type of thing. And so in that sense, I think it is a little different because whereas that was more survival, this is more like deliberate action. And
Yeah.
the sport of running in itself, and like I guess like Hyrox too, it's like it's something that truly compounds based on the time you put in and your effort. Where it's like a sport with a ball, so like football or lacrosse, natural talent means so much. And especially at the levels we played at, where yes, working hard helps and like will help get you to the next stage, but like if you're just naturally talented, you can get away with a lot. But like running, it's like the great equalizer is like the starting line and the finish line. Everyone has to go the same distance, and it's like if you don't prepare, like you're worse off. And there's no, yes, there's people that are naturally talented at running, and like those people, like good for them. We have a couple friends that can just like rip miles,
Screw
but
them.
at the same time, like it's just so incremental. Like for them to improve, it's the same amount of work you have to do. It's just scaled proportionally to where you're currently at. It's like I'm doing the same thing with my girlfriend, where she just woke up today and ran 60 miles with me, like in solidarity of me, which is insane. I couldn't believe she did it, but like she did. And like I've been ramping up miles and like my body's like used to it and she just like does it. And it's like where her mind took her, like she did it. And that's cool for her, but like it's insane. So
Yeah. It's very cool. It's a very humbling experience, but enlightening too. Like before we started recording, I was telling Tristan like I am kind of just getting addicted to this, like the high you get from finishing a big run or just while you're running. It's just your mind empties or you focus on what you really want to focus on, and it's cool. I think it helps a lot more than just physical aspects.
what's like coming from team sports, it's like running, especially the way we run, like if you're alone, like you have that solitude and like it's just your feet on the pavement and then your mind, like when you just get in the zone, it's just like clarity. Like it's not about like this sucks or I want to be done. It's just like you're just clipping miles. And this is kind of where I want to go next. So it's like an easy leg or segue. We watched a YouTube video and I sent it to Patrick and the guy, he's a I don't know, like 214 marathon guy. I'm forgetting his name. His name's Steven. He's a big YouTube channel, but he he's done everything. Like he has all these videos on like how you get faster, blah blah blah, like what types of workouts you can do. And like the video we watch is like if you have a goal marathon pace, you need to run at that pace. Like zone 2 running helps, and like watching your heart rate helps. But if you never run at the pace you want to finish your marathon at, and then you have to toe the line to run 26.2 miles at that pace, you're not going to do it. And so like we've kind of had that feeling this week, and uh,
We've been
definitely
ripping
like
it.
on this, yeah, like on the 16 miles, like we pushed it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and be between 9:30s and 10:30s just to keep my heart rate down. It's like, no, let's go sub 8 and like see what this feels like. Let's like get uncomfortable with the feeling we're in. It's like I did the same thing on a 6 mile run this week, like easy six, but I did it with one of my buddies who's much faster than me. And it's like, first mile was 8:15. And it's like my heart rate was elevated, but physically I was fine. It's literally just the mental block of like, you're not used to this, but physically you can do it. So just keep going. Like ignore how you currently feel and just keep pushing. So
Yeah, I think a big takeaway for me this week is basically all of that. Just like it's such a mental thing to see how long you can withstand being uncomfortable, and that's basically what running at like a pace that you want to succeed in is. And we kind of just, I don't know what it was, bro. We just kind of have like the realization this week. I'm glad we did because we just passed halfway, but like
yeah.
I don't see us slowing down on these 6 mile easy days or these long days. Any days that isn't tempo, I think we're going to be pushing from now on just naturally, like inherently. It's just going to be there because we know
Yeah.
that's what
And
we have to do.
I mean, I go back and forth. It's like I definitely see the benefit of having like a 4 mile, 5 mile easy run where it's like your heart rate is low. But at the same time, like a lot of stuff I've seen, it's like those days are purely meant to just log miles at a low intensity level so that you don't get injured. But it's like if you can rip them and keep pushing and not get hurt, I like to think the rate of improvement should increase because you're like forcing your butt. Like the human body is so malleable that like when like new stimuli comes, like we adapt. And it's like if we go from running like 9:30s, 9:45s to like sub 9, like we should adapt. And it's
100%.
like it should propel us to the next level. So like definitely I'm gonna start ripping them. I'll probably keep one easy and like one like a little faster for sure. But I mean there's other things like it being colder now. Like I can go out and just my heart rate will still be low. And it's like it feels effortless to go like 9:15. Whereas in the summer it's like I'm dying at that pace because of the heat. So just a multitude of factors, and it's like it just excites me for how much we can build in these coming weeks.
And if we keep going after this, which after these pursuits, which I think we're both going to want to, like, if we just keep stacking from here, like, there's no point in restarting and like restarting meaning just not staying disciplined to some type of pursuit to keep this up physically and mentally. But what you said about like temperature and stuff kind of leads me into my high of the week, which was
Yeah,
it
let's
was
do
one
it.
of the 6 milers. It was one of the 6 milers, and it was I finished I think the 247 workout, and it was at night. It was at like 8 o'clock. It was dark, no headphones, and I was just cruising. I think it was like 8:15 or like 8:19 or something for 6 miles, and like sure, like are you uncomfortable? Yes, you're running fast, but it felt so good to like be at that point and just like cruising. Like it felt effortless almost, just like in a groove, and that's what I really want to make last a lot longer than it has been in the past and just hold on to that feeling. And the only way I think is just training harder and training more at that pace. So that's definitely my high. My low, I guess it's not really a low, was the 16 milers. I was telling Tristan, I told him I brought 2 gels, not thinking that was enough, and then he kicked my ass and brought 2 gels. But
Well, I before you finish, it's like I'd group your 800 day in that as well. It was the same problem.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point too. The 800 day was tough as well. Not was malnourished for sure.
Yeah, like it's not
But
a capability thing. It's just it's that continued test of like how important fueling is, or like not
yeah,
having water. You know.
yeah, and that's just doing the right thing. Like I just need to be more prepared. But on that 16 miler, it was the first 6 miles felt great. Was moving pretty good around like a 9 minute 9:15 pace. average pace. And then I took a gel at like mile 5, or mile 6. Then mile 6 through 12, I had no water, no gels, middle of the day. So I was hurting for sure. Took a lot to get through that. Like my 13th mile was like 11 minutes and 30 seconds or something. Like I had to just like stop for a second, but got through it, found water finally, took a gel at 12 and then just cranked 12 through 16 and it felt amazing again. So my low was still a really good experience and good run, longest run I've ever done, which felt amazing. It's just the fact I wasn't prepared enough, but that's a part of this too. We're just learning, especially me as this being my first marathon. I'm just learning the proper ways to prepare and just actually doing them. But all in all, really, really my probably favorite week so far.
Yeah, I think my high, just from a true running perspective, was the 800 day. So we had 10 800 meter repeats with 1 minute break, mile warm up, mile cool down. So 7 mile workout. And like going to the track and like, again, this is more just like non negotiable where it's like, I'm not going to quit to just get through it. And it's like the mental games I had to play to like get through each rep and then like get to halfway and then ultimately finish. Like the games were fine, but it's like I did it. And then the high would be looking back at the last time we did 800s, which I think was 4 weeks ago now. And I'm forgetting
Yeah,
off the top of my head, but it's like that was 800s, and that day was like the hardest day ever. And my times on this one smashed them. So it's like even in the short amount of time, it's like how much better we've gotten as runners is just like truly super cool to see. Like because it's almost like a 1-to-1 comparison from the workout perspective, and that was cool. And then other high, this is more just like the mental side of thing. It's like what we talked about, where it's like unlocking what it feels to like just get in the zone and like the need to like get in the zone and just clip miles at a pace that we want to be at. It's like where it's not like a scary thing to like run fast, where it's like more a necessity. And it's like attacking the next coming weeks with that view. I truly think we'll just like continue to rapidly improve. And
I
then
completely agree.
my low, again, this has been a consistent thing with me, as sad as it is. It's my own doing. It's just like sleeping in and then missing a day. So, for example, Saturday, I had a commitment at noon. We were going to a football game. And so I slept in and I was like, I don't have enough time to do my run in the morning. So I have to do my run today, Sunday. And now it's like, I'll take a rest day tomorrow. And it just sets my whole week back one day. So it's like instead of having the natural Wednesday off day, I'm going to go Tuesday to Saturday. So it's just like just doing the little things right. I need to start being better at because it matters. And like Patrick, this goes back to how we talked where like what was different in my last prep. It's things like this where it's like, yeah, you can miss one day, but if you miss two, you're suddenly 2 days behind. It's like you can't make that up in a week. So it's like minimum you're cutting one workout out of that week. So it's like that can't happen. So
Mhm.
mine are low, but overall my body does feel good. I'm curious how I'm going to feel tomorrow after like a full night of rest after this 16. I feel good now, which is surprising. Uh, but yeah, like again, the biggest week we've had from a mileage perspective. And next week we tone it back a little bit. I think 12 is our no, is it 14?
14.
And then the week after we have 18. So we're steadily ramping up, and then in another 2 weeks after that we have 20. So
20.
it's building. Yeah, we might see what happens on the 20. But uh, but yeah, another week done. Patrick, you have anything else you want to add, or we've been ripping
Just
it for 20
happy.
minutes? So
Yeah, this was a good talk. Just happy of our progress and where we're at with everything. But main takeaways is we're going to start pushing these quote unquote slow days or easy days as much as we can and just start running at the paces that we want to win in. So just excited. We're learning a ton. We're growing a ton, and it's a good experience.
yeah, and I guess last thing, it's like I think our bodies have adjusted super well at this point, and like now we're beginning to unlock that it's like it truly is a mental thing. Like it's
one Hundred
obviously
percent.
physical, but it's so mental, so mental when you're like you have a long run or you have a tempo day, and it's like physically you know you can do it, but like how do you push through and ultimately get it done? So
Yeah. How long can you be uncomfortable?
yeah, so another week done. Week 10 starts tomorrow. Let's go.